Alrighty, let's do it. Australia Cup round of 16 tonight's two matches. It is match day 3. Heidelberg United taking West Sydney Wanderers. Brisbane City hosting Olympic Kingsway. We've just got the one A-League team in action tonight, and we are here to react and discuss all the action. Very curious to see how Wanderers go tonight. Obviously, they were impressive in that round of 32 victory over Brisbane. They weren't Brisbane for that. Who did they defeat again? Peninsula Power. Brisbane City in action tonight against Olympic Kingsway, of course. We have just kicked off as well. Perfect timing. Hope you guys are doing well. Say good day in the chat. We always love the Australia Cup. We were live a couple of weeks ago. The last live watch-along we did was a couple of weeks ago for the incredible match day in the round of 32 when Olympic Kingsway defeated Melbourne Victory, and we had 5 A-League teams playing on that night. What a night of cup action that was. And I think we're set for a bit of drama here tonight. In my predictions video that I put out here on the Oswald Football channel last week, I did call for a potential cup set here in this one. I think my prediction was 2-2 after extra time, and then maybe Heidelberg to go through on penalties. But I'll tell you what, having said that, West Sydney Wanderers did impress me in the round of 32. They are fielding the same lineup that we saw in that game here as well. Very strong 11. Hello to Butter in the live chat. Blinkers is here. Highlight bro. Welcome. Ishiga's the GOAT, says Butter. Got the winner for Wellington on the weekend. We've already had a few round of 16 matchups. And yeah, great moment for Hideki Ishiga getting the winner for Wellington against Nunawading City. That was almost a really, it was right at the death of regular time for Wellington against Nunawading. If Nunawading took Wellington to extra time, that itself would have been incredible. So credit to Nunawading for keeping that match alive, and a long range shot. Wanderers are looking good early on. Looking to open the scoring early on. We also had Sydney United 58 taking on Sydney FC on the weekend. Sydney FC winning that one 2-0. And then last night, Metro Stars were hosting Macarthur FC. Macarthur winning that game 2-0 as well. So you've got all 3 A-League sides have won their matches so far in this round of 16. Wanderers, can they keep that trend going? We shall see. We do have to talk about Heidelberg United, who have been very, very impressive in NPL Victoria this season. They've just slipped down from the top of the ladder, but they've been towards the top for much of the campaign. They've been really dominant this campaign in the league season. They've got a few former A-League players in their ranks. Not only former A-League players, they've got a player on loan from an A-League club, Sabit Nyor, on loan from Central Coast Mariners. He is starting tonight for Heidelberg United as well. G'day, Marcus. Good to see you here, mate. Marcus says, went to their match on the weekend. Really different experience at Adenza Park compared to Allianz Stadium. Marcus, of course, referring to that Sydney United 58 Sydney FC game. Yeah, dude. It was great just seeing the scenes and the... I think they announced the attendance was, 4,000, 5,000? But it's great. It just goes to show, Marcus, and I'm sure you've been to Allianz Stadium many times there, Marcus. Like, even if you just get 4,000 fans in a small stadium, obviously 4,000 fans in a small stadium compared to 4,000 fans in Allianz Stadium is going to feel completely different. That's another reason why these smaller grounds are really the way to go for now. Butter saying, can already see the 2-0 loss when Crive and Barbaroussa score against us. Imagine that, the former Phoenix players coming back to haunt Wellington. Possibly. Strong lineup tonight for the Wanderers. Lawrence Thomas in goals. Back four, Gabriel Kleur, Pantanzopoulos, Bonatig, Gersbach. Midfield duo of Brillante and... Actually, who is it? Priestman or Ugarkovic who's starting tonight in midfield? I know Brillante's starting. because Priestman started the last game in the round of 32. Just having a quick check. It is Ugarkovic, so Steven Ugarkovic is starting tonight, returning to Western Sydney Wanderers. Kryev and Hammond in the wide positions. Barbarousis and Kowal, the two new signings, leading the line tonight for Wanderers, as they did in the round of 32. So still no Brendan Borello, and that's the thing for me. Question for you guys too. When Brandon Borello returns to the Wanderers lineup, what does that Wanderers front line look like? Do one of those guys drop to the bench? Like you wouldn't imagine Brandon Borello would be sitting on the bench. So does either Barbarousis or Kowal drop to the bench? Or do you play one of those players out wide? Well, Borello can play in a wide role, so that's something we could see as well. Blinkers says, I'm watching Brisbane versus Kingsway, a bit scrappy so far. Well, Blinkers, and for anyone who's watching the other game as well, you can keep us up to date in regards to what is happening over there. In that one, we are focusing on the Heidelberg United West City Wanderers game tonight. The Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway happening at the same time as Wanderers are coming forward again. Barbarousis looking to grab the goals for Wanderers. Costa Barbarousis, I think it is a really smart signing for Western Sydney. Obviously, losing Zach Sapsford is a big loss. But bringing in a guy who's got proven A-League, he's proved himself in the A-League for so many years now, Costa Barbarousis. It's a really reliable signing for Alan Stajic, so I don't mind it. Tomorrow night as well is the final night in the Australia Cup round of 16. 3 matches tomorrow. And of course, it's great that we already sort of know the pathway to the final. So we know where the teams are headed. Big game tomorrow night. Cookshill United hosting Newcastle Jets. Bit of a Newcastle derby there. Avondale FC hosting Apia Leichhardt tomorrow, and South Melbourne hosting Auckland FC. So those are 3 very interesting matches there as well. G'day, Bob Bell. I've been well, mate. Thanks for asking. Good to see you here, Bob. And appreciate you guys joining us here for tonight's live watch log. Just 7.5 minutes in. No goals to report yet. Wanderers made a bit of a bright start early on in this game. But so far, it's Heidelberg United looking like they're up for the battle. Looks like a bit of a rainy night down in Melbourne for this one tonight as well. Pressure. Barbarousis dispossessed. Here come Heidelberg. Great chance for them. They're in behind down the right. Heidelberg. Huge opportunity. It was the Mariners' loanee, Sabit Nyor, who was almost away down the right. But that's the thing, man. Wanderers, they are favourites, obviously, heading into this game, being the A-League team, but they've got to be so wary of this Heidelberg United side who have been so impressive this season in NPL Victoria. So we just saw there, Barbarousis just taking maybe 1 second too long on the ball, gets caught on it, and you saw how quickly Heidelberg United moved forward there. Marcus asks, a great question, is Docker's loan a 6 months or 12 months? Well, it's a great question, Marcus, because, from the different clubs, we've heard different things on social media, at least. So when the loan move was announced a few weeks back now, Docker's moved to Vent Forest Coffee. On Vent Forest Coffee's website, there is information there that indicates that it's a 12-month loan. So and that was on their official website. So as far as I'm aware, from Vent Forest Coffee, they've considered it. Sorry, did I say 12? I meant 6-month loan. 6-month loan. So on Vent Forest Coffee's website, there, 6-month loan. But from when Mariners shared about the news on social media, there's a 12-month loan. So unfortunately, we don't really know the truth. I mean, someone's mistaken. So, but I imagine if Foreign Coffee's got that information on their website, surely that's correct. Just a 6-month loan, which would take them to the end of the J-League season. So I feel like it makes sense for Docker's loan to Japan to be just the 6 months. And as a Mariners fan, I'm hoping it is just the 6 months and that Docker is back for the A-League season, a part of the A-League season. And Blinkus asks, are Mariners expecting him back for this season? Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we obviously would love to have Docker part of the squad. He was our best player last season, I think. And yeah, I think we're all disappointed. Mariners fans disappointed that he has been loaned out. So hopefully he does return. Again, Ben Coffee's website indicates that it's a 6-month loan, which means he'll be back, in January. Hopefully. Blinkus correcting himself, saying I meant is Nyor expected back soon, not Docker. Sabit loan should end at the end of December, yeah, as well. So it was just a season-long loan. He departed the club in January this year. Sabit Nyor. He played a handful of games for Mariners early on last season, and looked all right. He grabbed a goal or two from memory as well. He grabbed a couple of goals. But sent him back on loan to Heidelberg United, a club that he was at previously. And he's done well this season, Sabinho. He has done well. He's gotten plenty of game time in the NPL Victoria. And yeah, the loan, as far as I'm aware, should expire at the end of this calendar year. So that could well see Sabinho return to the club from January. Again, like that's just off information we have online. But you never know. You never know these things. You never know with the A-League. It's a very uncertain time, as we know, especially with everything that's going on with Western United, and yeah, it's a funny time. So 12 minutes in, Heidelberg United 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Doesn't look like we've got any goals in the other game as well. Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway. Brisbane City got through to this round of 16 by defeating Brisbane rivals Olympic FC. Olympic Kingsway with that big cup set win over Victory a couple of weeks ago. So I feel like many of us are expecting Olympic Kingsway to go through tonight, considering that they did manage that heroic victory against Melbourne Victory. Oh, here's a chance. What's happened here? Heidelberg United, they've scored! What is going on at the back for Wanderers? Oh my Lord. In behind. Now what's going on here? The players are looking around. As a whistle gone? No, the goal's given. It's 1-0. What the heck happened there, dude? What happened at the back for Wanderers? The ball down the left, and it looked like a pretty routine. Oh, Pantanzopoulos, terrible back pass. And it's going to go down as an own goal too. The rebound off the post, but Bonatig couldn't keep it out. But Anthony Pantanzopoulos, who was so good for Wanderers last season, and he was good against Peninsula Power, and generally a top passer of the ball as well. He plays those, turning into those signature long balls from Anthony Pantanzopoulos. That's one of his poorer passes there. Gifting the opportunity to Heidelberg, and the team from NPL Victoria have the lead. Huge moment for Heidelberg United early on in this game too. Early on, giving themselves the advantage. What a start. And it, goes along with what we said earlier about how Heidelberg United, if they get those opportunities, they go forward with pace. They're determined to really take this game to Western Sydney Wanderers. And there we go. The Wanderers cannot afford to be complacent at the back there. Any little mistake and Heidelberg United will punish them. And they did it there. 1-0. So the question now is, how do Western Sydney respond to this setback? Bit of a wrestle on the wing there. Surely that's a foul. Kowal's in the box. Great chance for Wanderers. That's right. That's great defending. Huge defending there. I think it was Collins. Wanderers still on the attack. Kuol's header goes wide. Another Kuol. Of course, if my memory serves me correctly, would have been involved in an Australia Cup game against Heidelberg United last year with Central Coast Mariners. Heidelberg United defeating Central Coast Mariners in the round of 32 last year. There we go. Marcus a moment ago asked, when will the fixtures be announced? Surely it's soon. Yeah, hey, we don't know. Hopefully it is soon. Surely it's soon. It's usually around this time of year, if not a bit earlier. Sometimes it's towards the end of July. Sometimes it's early August. What's the date today? 12th of August. But obviously, you'd imagine that the Western United debacle or deal is certainly throwing a spanner in the works. So who knows when we'll get the draw, man. Hopefully, look, I mean, that appeal for Western United, I think it was meant to take 7 or 8 days or something. So maybe by the end of the week, there's some news in regards to what's happening with, at least with Western United or the A-League draw. Heidelberg United. Nice little spell of possession for them here. Really shifting Wanderers back into their defensive half. Moving the ball well. Wanderers just scrambling in defence, and Heidelberg United have a corner. Wanderers are on the back foot, man. They made a bright start. And there's an early substitution as well. Bojla Kraev was down hurt earlier, and they've had to make the change here. Jared Carluccio is on to replace Bojla Kraev, who was so good in the round of 32 with those couple goals. And he is walking off injured now, Bojla Kraev. You just imagine that there's an injury involved there for the Bulgarian. Heidelberg's corner goes wide. So, a bit of, worrying start for Wanderers, conceding a goal, and one of their star players has just gone off injured. Not a great start if you're a Wanderers fan, that's for sure. Marcus asks as well, what do you think of the outcome of the appeal will be for Western United? I assume you're talking about there, Marcus. I think we're all hoping that it is positive and that they can continue going forward. Obviously, it's been a tricky time for Western United. But it seems to be, like a lot of talk online suggests that there isn't necessarily that much of a chance or that much confidence that the appeal will be successful. But hey, I don't know how these things work. So we just have to wait and see how it pans out. But we just hope, that it does work out for Western United because, dude, I mean, just regardless of how you feel about Western United, it's just not great for the A-League to be losing another club. It's been many years since it last happened. And it's set to potentially happen again. It is sad. No goals to report in the other game. 2 simultaneous kickoffs tonight. Brisbane City, Olympic Kingsway. 22 minutes into that one. But it's Heidelberg United who have the lead here. Once again against A-League opposition. Heidelberg United look to be set up really well behind the ball, defending well. They definitely have a handful of A-League players in their lineup tonight, former A-League players. Jaron Souza in goals tonight, of course, for Heidelberg United. Former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. Didn't make too many appearances for them. Ben Collins at the back there. He's been good tonight with a couple good interceptions. He's a former Western United player himself. Anthony Lesiotis in midfield as well. I believe he spent time at both Melbourne City and Victory. And as we mentioned earlier, Sabitignon on loan from Central Coast Mariners at the moment at Heidelberg. Hey, Blinkers, thanks for the update. Blinkers, you keep an eye on the other game tonight. Says Kingsway just had a good chance, saved by the Brisbane keeper. Maybe a pen shout if we had VAR, but the ref played on. Hey, that's the beauty of the cup, isn't it? The Australia Cup, no VAR. So, it's just like the good old days, isn't it? Marcus asks, got any transfer suggestions for Mariners? You still haven't signed anyone. Yeah, put out a video on the Coastwood Football channel where we're doing dedicated Mariners content. Put out a video there last week highlighting a few free agents who are still available, as far as I'm aware. So the players that I mentioned there is, well, the one in that video I discussed Andrew Redmayne, who has been linked with Mariners already, and I wouldn't be surprised if that gets over the line in the end. But other players that Mariners could look at, you could look at Bruno Fornaroli, who I don't think it has a club yet. Experienced A-League striker, I think for Mariners in the current position they're in, and you look at their squad, I think an experienced striker would benefit the Mariners. Some other players, I think Mariners, I'd love to see us sign someone like Scott Galloway. Again, experienced fullback, and Mariners need to recruit players at fullback because we only have Storm Rue and Lucas Moragas. So Mariners desperately need fullbacks. So those were a few players that I had in mind. Stefan Kolikovsky's another one as well. I don't think he's got an A-League club yet. So he missed out a lot of last season with injury, unfortunately. So if he gets back to his best, I think it could be a top signing for Mariners. Stefan Kolikovsky now 25 years of age. So there's a few suggestions for Mariners in terms of signings. Those guys, as far as I'm aware, are free agents still. There are a bunch of Australian players, free agents, still available. Marcus says I think Galloway is likely to rejoin Melbourne City. I'll tell you what, that wouldn't surprise me. A club that he knows. Melbourne City, who probably need a little bit of depth in those fullback positions. But yeah, I think Galloway would be a top signing for any A-League club. He didn't really feature too much for Auckland last year. I think he missed a lot of the season with injury. But Scotty Galloway, 30 years of age now. He's played at so many A-League clubs too. He's one of those guys who have been at so many different clubs. He was even at Mariners for a season like 8 years ago or something. Crazy. So Heidelberg United, they are shifting forward again. Heidelberg United can't believe that they haven't been awarded a free kick there in a promising position. Wanderers, man, Wanderers. They haven't really gotten into their groove yet. They've had like some decent spells of possession, but this has been like 24 minutes in now. This has been a really even contest. Marcus is coming with some great questions tonight as well. What's happening with Juan Mata? We don't know. That's the bottom line, right? We don't know. Does anyone know what's happening with Juan Mata in regards to his involvement at Western Sydney Wanderers? We don't know. Hopefully he sticks around, but we'll have to wait and see. But obviously his team involved tonight. West Sydney Wanderers. Is Juan Mata going to be a Wanderers player this season? We don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, it'd be great to see him stick around again at Wanderers, but is it just going to be the same situation for Juan Mata again, where he's just sitting on the bench for most of the season, which isn't really what we want. Like, we haven't really had that much, hey? Like, we're a top marquee player. Like, Juan Mata, that's one of the biggest names to play in the A-League ever, really. Juan Mata, former Manchester United, Chelsea player. He's won a World Cup with Spain. Like, what a signing it is for the A-League. And he's on the bench. It'd be great to see him just playing regularly, week in, week out. I think there's several A-League teams where I'm sure he would have a bigger role. But you look at the way the Wanderers play, I just don't see that I don't really think he suits their system, perhaps. Corner for Wanderers, again, doesn't quite work out. And that's probably credit to Heidelberg United and their stubborn defence. I mean, what do you guys think about Juan Mata? You want to see him stick around. I can't imagine that he would go to a different A-League club. But, I just imagine... I thought it would have been a good signing for MacArthur before they signed Anthony Caceres to bring in Juan Mata, but they got Caceres there. So, I mean, I'm just trying to think of now of what club would actually benefit from Juan Mata. I tell you what, and this would actually be interesting, with the departure of Zinedine Machash, which was a big one announced last week, Zinedine Machash departing Melbourne Victory. I could probably use Juan Mata there in a number 10 role. I think you just play him in that number 10 position, which is where Machash was playing for Victory for the last couple of years. I think Juan Mata would suit that Victory setup a bit more than this Wanderers system, which is Wanderers essentially playing a 4-4-2, like to play with the two strikers, Barbarouses and Kowal, those two front players tonight. Here comes Barbarouses down the left. Slowing it down. What have they got? Western Sydney building up. Steven Ugarkovic heavily involved so far tonight, starting in midfield. Very eager to get on the ball. Former Melbourne City midfielder. Won the championship with Melbourne City last season. Did Steven Ugarkovic, can he bring a Champions Trophy to Western Sydney Wanderers? Dude, that looked like a dive. Yeah. I'll tell you what, might get booked there later. That looked like a dive. Looking for the contact there. Okay, Marcus asked, what signings do you think Sydney FC need? For me, we need a centre-back, a 10 and a full-back. I feel like the full-back positions are maybe okay for Sydney. You look at Ryan Grant and Zach De Jesus, and left side Joel King, Jordan Courtney-Perkins. Maybe another centre-back. As you say there, Marcus, I think maybe centre-back's probably priority there. And number 10 probably as well. Yeah, I think Sydney FC need to sign another attacking player. I think Alassane Toure was a good piece of business to bring him in. Scored for Sydney on the weekend as well. But, yeah. Long-range effort from Wanderers. Sails wide. On a couple occasions tonight already, almost half an hour in, Wanderers have just had to go from long range, and it hasn't really threatened Yaron Souza's goal too much. So, again, it's credit to Heidelberg United and their organisation in defence tonight. They're doing a great job of just staying disciplined at the back. Credit to them. Appreciate you guys joining us for this live watch along tonight. Australia Cup round of 16. This is Matchday 3 out of 4. 4 consecutive days too, which is a bit unusual. I don't think we usually get that. Back-to-back days, 4 consecutive days of Australia Cup football. I love it. It's great. We should do it more. We should do it more often. Cross from Heidelberg United. Here's a chance for them. Shot comes in. Ooh, appeals for a handball. Is that a pen? Have they awarded it? I think they have. It's a penalty for Heidelberg. The shot came in, and the referee points to the spot because Alex Gersbach has apparently handled the ball there, blocking it with his arms. I tell you what, a difficult one to see considering how powerful the shot was. But Heidelberg United are going to have a penalty. Oh, yep. Great call. Great call. Great call from the referee. I wonder if the linesman maybe caught that as well. But Heidelberg United, half an hour in, have a 2-goal lead. Lawrence Thomas did get a strong hand to it, but not strong enough. 2-0. Wow. What a dream first half for Heidelberg United. A 2-goal lead over Western Sydney Wanderers. And as Marcus says here, cup set time. It may well be. It may well be cup set time, Marcus. A 2-goal lead. Dude, I'll tell you what, Lawrence Thomas, like he went the right way. He even got a hand to it. He made contact with the ball. And it looked like he was going to keep that out for a second there. But too much power on the shot. Brilliant. Heidelberg United have been brilliant so far, defensively strong, and have a 2-goal lead. Dude. Incredible. G'day, Tay Burns. Wellington are in trouble? Wellington are in trouble? Why are Wellington in trouble? Is there something I don't know about? G'day, Hunter. Hunter says, I was hoping for it to be Metro Styles or Nana Wadding, but it looks like it'll be Heidelberg. Yes. And I mean, you have to look at their league form, man. They've been so dominant in NPL Victoria this season. If anyone was going to beat an A-League side, it was probably going to be Heidelberg United. I mean, it would have been incredible, hey, if Nana Wadding did get the win on the weekend, but Heidelberg United. They did it last year too, right? They defeated Central Coast Mariners. That is true, Tay, yes. Wellington barely got past Nana Wadding. They came right at the death. Really nervy stuff for Wellington, man. Yeah, I mean, are they in trouble? They'll be concerned just due to the fact that they took so long to finally break past Nana Wadding City on the weekend. A team who I think is still building for the upcoming A-League season. Maybe a few more signings still to come for the Knicks. But yeah, it was almost very close there to an embarrassing result for Wellington. Look, no disrespect to Nana Wadding, but we do have to acknowledge the fact that Nana Wadding are from the third tier of Victorian football. Wellington Phoenix, an A-League team. So, if you're just joining us, Heidelberg United 2, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Wow. Well, dude, my prediction is still on, right? My prediction from last week was a 2-2 draw, and then Heidelberg to win on pens. But I'll tell you what, man, Heidelberg United completely deserve this lead. Wanderers, I'm sure, have had more possession, but they haven't really tested Yaron Souza all that much tonight in the Heidelberg goal. Make sure to hit the like button, support the stream. Really appreciate it. You can also consider sending in a super chat to support the channel. Had a few videos come out in the last couple of weeks. Did a fun video last week predicting the Socceroos 2026 World Cup squad, which is always a topic that generates plenty of debate. And I'm pretty happy with my squad. And it's great to see some Aussies have started their seasons across the world, across Europe, really strongly. We're all very excited about Adrian Segicic over in England. He scored on debut for Portsmouth in the Championship. Adrian Segicic, former Sydney FC player. I just wonder how long and how far away is his Socceroos call-up. It might not be long at all. if he can maintain a bit of decent form over the next couple of weeks. Shaky Anthony Pantanzopoulos. He had that shaky back pass for the first goal earlier on. Another little nervy header back to his goalkeeper there as well. So just 10 minutes till halftime. Plus stoppages. Wanderers, well, they clearly need something else to unlock this Heidelberg United defence. It's been a bit too slow, bit too predictable in attack, I think, for Wanderers tonight. Like, even just looking at the phase of play that they're in now, it's, as I say that here, they've broken through. Great chance. And I'll tell you what, that's probably Wanderers' best chance of the game. As I was saying, they're struggling to break through the Heidelberg defence. Costa Barbarousis on target, and Yaron Souza diving save. Corner for Wanderers, quickly taken. The short ball. What can they create here? Wanderers appealing for a handball. Not given. Hunter asks an interesting question. What are your thoughts on Jake Brimmer moving to the Malta national team? Can see him getting quite a lot of minutes for them. And hopefully he does. It's great for Jake Brimmer. What is he now? 27 years of age? I think I was reading about that post from the A-League socials today as well, highlighting some of the quotes from Jake Brimmer in regards to that situation. Jake Brimmer, top player. Johnny Warren medal winner a few years back when he was at Melbourne Victory. Look, if he maintains some really consistent form for Auckland, maybe he could push to that Socceroos squad, but he sees that opportunity with the Malta's national team there as a chance for him to play for a national team. So if you have that opportunity, you're going to take it. So, all the best for Jake Brimmer and with Malta. Favourites for the Cup right now, asks Marcus. I think the Bulls are looking pretty strong, and I'll tell you what, man, MacArthur are turning into the new Cup specialists. A decade ago, it was Adelaide United. In recent years, it's MacArthur. So I think the Bulls, with Anthony Caceres there, they've got some top players in that team. Here's a chance for Wanderers, though. Can't manage a shot overhead from Pantanzopoulos. Heidelberg United scrambling it away. But in terms of other teams who might be favourites for the Cup, I do feel like Sydney FC actually might go a fair way this tournament. Tell you what, Marcus, let me pull up the bracket for the Australia Cup. Let's see the pathways again, because that's always interesting to look at. Another corner here for Wanderers. The set pieces aren't really providing much for Western Sydney. Hayden Hammond, bit of space here on the right for Clure, who swings. That's a good cross. Great cross. How have they not scored there? Great cross from Gabby Clure. Far post header back in. And it just felt you're just waiting for the back of the net to bulge. But couldn't do it in the end. Cheers, Blinkers, for the update in the other game. Brilliant save from the Kingsway keeper. Keeps it 0-0. Brisbane City, Olympic Kingsway. 2 games tonight. Appreciate that update. We are focusing on the Heidelberg United Western Sydney Wanderers game tonight. And of course, a hugely important match up there in Queensland as well tonight. Buddy says, I'm predicting Knicks to lose to Sydney FC on pens. I was just having a look at the bracket again. Wellington are playing the winner of this game. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So the winner of this game, Heidelberg United, Western Sydney Wanderers, the winner of this game will take on Wellington Phoenix. Wellington Phoenix in one of the quarterfinals. What else have we got in the quarterfinals? Macarthur FC will be hosting, well, not hosting, but playing the winner of Cooks Hill United, Newcastle Jets. Sydney FC will be playing the winner of South Melbourne, Auckland FC. You'd imagine Auckland are favourites in that game. So, I mean, that means we could have a handful of games in Sydney for the quarterfinals. The winner of Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway will play the winner of Avondale Apia Cup. So you've got a. It's really interesting. You've got a corner, a section, a quadrant of the Australia Cup bracket where it's all NPL teams. So we will have an NPL team in the semi-finals. At least one. At least. Minimum. But I tell you what, Heidelberg United, with the way they're playing so far tonight, and with the scoreline sitting as it is, 2-0 to Heidelberg United, could they be set for a historic run in the Cup? We have only ever seen one NPL team make it to the Australia Cup final back in 2022. That was Sydney United 58. And Victorian clubs have always been very strong in the Cup, often making it to semi-finals. We think last year was South Melbourne. Melbourne Knights were there a couple of years ago as well. These teams are generally Oakley Cannons. They were there last year, weren't they as well? Oakley Cannons, if I remember correctly, or quarterfinals at least. But often the Victorian clubs are really formidable when it comes to the Australia Cup. So, yeah, man. If Heidelberg United can just maintain this scoreline from here on out for the rest of this half, that'll be huge for them. Regroup at halftime and put in a big performance in the second half to potentially go through to the quarterfinals. That's all they're going to do, Heidelberg United. Wanderers are going to keep throwing everything at them. Here comes Hammond. Wanderers moving the ball a little bit quicker now, which is what they need. They need a bit more pace on the ball. It's been a bit too predictable. Carluccio trying to just glide. Oh, he's gone down. No pen. Jared Carluccio bursting through. I tell you what, replay will be interesting there. Because it looked, at first glance, I thought pen. But I could be way off. Could be way off there. Butter says, just happy to be here. Love it, Butter. Hunter says Bulls are definitely favourites, I think. Yeah, MacArthur will be taking on either Cooks United or Newcastle Jets in the next round. Against Jets, I think I'd probably tip Bulls. So I could see Bulls going to the semi, and then in the semi-final, they would come up against an NPL team. So we could see another Australia Cup final with MacArthur there. There is a serious possibility. There's a serious possibility. Alrighty. Marcus asks, what would happen if an NPL side won the Cup? Would they get into Asia? I think so, yeah, as far as I'm aware. Absolutely. And wouldn't that be interesting? That'd be fun. Crossing from Brillante's. Decent. Oh, great save. Yaron Souza, the reflexes, the former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper, repelling that shot, that header from close range too. Another good chance there for Wanderers, but Souza, that was top save. Top save there. Hunter says here, as a Jets fan, I'm hesitantly optimistic. But if we beat Cooks Hill, we have a rematch from last year's Cup where we lost to MacArthur in the round of 16. I'm just trying to remember that. Oh, yes, I do remember that. They played that game in Maitland. We might have done a live watch-along for that game last year too, actually. I do recall that game now, Hunter. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, if Jets could have an easy run to the final, and that would be huge. Newcastle Jets, man, a team who are chasing silverware. It's been so long for Newcastle Jets. Like, that would be huge for them if they got through to the final to potentially win the Australia Cup. And again, wouldn't that be the perfect start for new head coach Mark Milligan there at Newcastle Jets? As a Mariners fan, I don't want to see it, of course, but that would be huge. That would be huge. So big match tomorrow night for the Jets. Big game in Newcastle. Cooks Hill United hosting their local A-League team, Newcastle Jets, tomorrow night. But it is almost half-time here. Heidelberg United 2, West Sydney Wanderers 0. Still 0-0 between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. Appreciate you guys joining us for tonight's live stream, live watch-along, Australia Cup. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Appreciate it. Just appreciate you guys being here, man. We are all about creating a community of like-minded football fans in Australia. Heidelberg United. Chance for the counter-attack here. Lesiotis. Sabit Nur. Too strong in the challenge, Heidelberg, as well. They've been winning. They've been winning a handful of duels tonight as well. As Heidelberg United. 3 minutes added on total. And I'm sure Alan Stajic will have a lot to say at half-time to his side. Going back to this comment here as well, Blinkers, in regards to Marcus's comment, only issue is where they play their games, as even A-League clubs can have a hard time with AFC's obsession with rules. Yeah, obviously, like in regards to stadium and infrastructure, that has to be, I'm sure there's standards there that has to be. So, like, if an NPL team got through, who knows? Maybe they would be playing. Maybe they would, play the games at like an A-League team stadium. I don't know. Heidelberg United win the ball, hype the park. Another great chance. Oh, great turn. Oh my gosh. Well, almost through there. Wanderers just are looking very shaky tonight at the back. There's been a few occasions, obviously for that first goal, but there's been a few occasions where they're just getting caught in possession. They're just overplaying it a little bit. The passes are just looking a little bit nervous. Thanks for that update, Blinkus. 0 all in Brisbane. Both keepers doing well. Stalemate between the two NPL teams. Brisbane City, Olympic Kingsway. Of course, Olympic Kingsway with that heroic 4-3 victory in the round of 32 against A-League opposition non-victory a couple of weeks ago. But can they get it done against Brisbane City? Away from home. Stick around at half-time. We'll be doing plenty of discussion here in the live chat in regards to all things Aussie football. Australia Cup, A-Leagues, Socceroos, Matildas. Got a bunch of Aussies abroad in action at the moment. Maybe their season's kicking off in the past weeks, or season's kicking off in the next couple of weeks as well. The English Championship kicked off this past weekend. Plenty of Aussies involved, of course. English Premier League season kicks off this weekend. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've got any Aussies as of today. I don't think we've got any Aussies involved in the English Premier League this season. Joe Gauci, Aston Villa goalkeeper, Socceroos goalkeeper, has been loaned out to Port Vale. That was announced in the past 24 hours. As Wanderers, oh, great chance! How's that stayed out? Shot comes in, appeals for a handball. Dramatic finish to the end of this half. And unbelievably, Wanderers don't have a goal. That is half-time. High fives for all the Heidelberg players, especially Yaron Souza. Wow, dude. What a half of football for Heidelberg United. 2-0. 2-0 lead for the team from NPL Victoria against Western Sydney Wanderers, the team who finished 4th in the A-League men's last season. Brilliant stuff for Heidelberg. Owen's here. G'day, Owen. Says, I missed the first half, and my Wanderers are in the bin, says Owen. That's right. It hasn't been a good game up to this point for Western Sydney Wanderers. 2 goals there. A shaky back pass from Pantanzopoulos. And then from the penalty spot as well. Huge for Heidelberg United to have this 2-goal advantage. So, and for West Sydney Wanderers as well, losing one of their star players to injury early on, Bajra was substituted off. Jared Carluccio coming on, but I mean, they had a few opportunities towards the end of that half, but for much of that first period, Wanderers were struggling to break down Heidelberg United. And Yaron Souza, I think, has been probably the star player for Heidelberg United as well in goals with some fantastic saves. Butter says, thoughts on the reports that MacArthur didn't stick around at Metro Stars post-match scran, opting to go to a restaurant instead. Is that right? I'm curious. What's Metro Stars scran like? What was it like? Have we got any Adelaide viewers in the chat tonight? Say g'day. G'day, Lightning. What are Heidelberg doing? Well, they're doing everything well at the moment. That's for sure, Lightning. 2-goal lead, clean sheet at half-time. Great start for the NPL Victoria side. I think the more appropriate question, perhaps, is what are Western Sydney Wanderers doing? They need a little bit more, just a little bit more, full stop, in attack, especially. Good to see you here, Lightning. Thanks, guys, for joining us in the live chat tonight. It is half-time in the Australia Cup round of 16, match day 3. So, results in the Cup so far this round. On the weekend, we had a couple games. Sunday, Arvo. Wellington Phoenix 1, Nunawading City 0. That winning goal for the Knicks coming right at the end of regulation time. Sydney FC 2 over Sydney United 58. MacArthur FC last night defeating Metro Stars 2-0. G'day, Ricardo, who's joining us tonight watching the Heidelberg game. What's your thoughts, Ricardo? Who's watching from Portugal? Love it, Ricardo. Thanks for joining in, mate. Butter says Ben Wayne at Port Vale. Also at Port Vale. There we go. So you got two former A-League players linking up at Port Vale there. Joe Gauci, Socceroos goalkeeper, signing with Port Vale for the upcoming season on a season-long loan from Aston Villa. That was announced today. Hunter says if Heidelberg go up against the Knicks are gone. Yeah, I mean, tell you what, like, I don't think anyone, like any A-League team, anyone would want to take on Heidelberg United at this rate, hey? Yeah. Lightning's backing Wanderers for a 3-2 win. I mean, they're going to need a huge improvement in the second half if that's going to happen, dude. They're going to need a huge improvement, that's for sure. They've got the players to do it. You know, you look at someone like Costa Barbarouses, who can always break past the defence. Can they try and get him more involved, getting him behind the lines? I think losing Bojra Kraev is a big one. He was subbed off early on with injury. And of course, as we were saying just then, in regards to Hunter's comment there, if Heidelberg go up against the Knicks are gone. Of course, the winner of this game tonight, Heidelberg United, West Sydney Wanderers, the winner of this game, that game, will take on Wellington Phoenix. So there we go. Lightning says they would be doing better with Kraev on. Yeah, I mean he showed us in the round of 32 how good he was. Bojra Kraev, a couple goals in that game. So huge loss for Wanderers. And I just wonder if that maybe just destabilised things a little bit. Just sort of altered the game plan perhaps slightly. Jared Carluccio coming on there. Perhaps a different kind of player in that wide position. And it's seen Wanderers concede a couple goals there. I'm not saying that one change has caused this scoreline, but it is a factor that has to be considered. Because I tell you what, I mean, I think, look, I was expecting this game. I was expecting Heidelberg United to really, give Wanderers a test in this game. But I don't think anyone would have predicted this scoreline at half time. 2-0 lead. Huge. Lightning says, tomorrow night I'm going to a match. South Melbourne versus Auckland FC. Love it, Lightning. Hope you enjoy, mate. That should be a good one. South Melbourne, semi-finalists in the Cup last year against the A-League Premiers. What a match. Hunter asks, do you have any idea what happened with the Sydney FC versus Sydney United during Sydney FC versus Sydney United regarding the red card? So, I mean, I only saw it from, like, the footage that we saw. There was a substitute play for Sydney United. Like, you guys can probably clarify if you know more about the situation than me. But I saw there was a substitute player who seemingly had some, said something to the assistant referee, and then he was shown a red card. So that's we don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, and he sort of came onto the field a little bit, if I remember correctly, or at least I don't know whether he came onto the field fully, but he certainly approached the assistant referee. That's what the footage showed, at least. So yeah, we don't know what happened. Ricardo says Heidelberg played very well in the first half. Hopefully, they hang on. Butter, in regards to his Wellington Phoenix, says, for the quarterfinals, we should hopefully have Rufa back and Eze, and Carlo will be more familiar with the tactics and squad. Yep, we saw debuts for Eze and Carlo Almiento for Wellington on the weekend, and if they can get Alex Rufa back, that is a huge boost, because we know how important Alex Rufa is to Wellington Phoenix, the defensive midfielder. So, if they can get him back, that would be ideal. But that's the thing. They're going to need, if it is Heidelberg United set to go through, if they hold on here, and, of course, as you know, they'll be hosting Wellington at their home grounds, you'd probably back Heidelberg United. You probably would. Wellington Phoenix, still with a very young team at the moment. If they can get... If those guys are starting, though, like Rufa, Eze, Armiento, if they're involved, probably gives them more of a chance. But just with the season overall that Heidelberg's having, they could make a push to the semi-finals at least. They could. Yes, Souza is playing for Heidelberg. Yes, indeed. Yaron Souza, former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. G'day, Nicholas, who says MacArthur should win the Australia Cup, in my opinion. Well, yeah, look, MacArthur FC are turning into the modern era, the 2020s, if you like, are turning into the cup specialists of this of recent years in the Australia Cup. It was Adelaide United in the 2010s. They won it a few times. But it may well be MacArthur FC. Winners in 2022. Winners last year. And MacArthur SC, I mean, more than likely they'll have Newcastle Jets in the quarterfinals. We'll see what happens tomorrow night, but more than likely they'll have the Jets. But then after that, they come up against an NPL team, and then it's the final. So the Bulls could have a smooth run from here on out. Having said that, nothing against those NPL teams that will be in the semi-final. If we've learned anything from this Australia Cup over the years, is that the NPL teams always prove a tricky obstacle for A-League sides more often than not. Lightning also said here a moment ago, says I was at the Cup final, South Melbourne versus Heidelberg, Doherty Cup final. Says that Dobson got subbed on and scored immediately, and then scored the last second winner. Yeah, dude, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. All right? South Melbourne, Heidelberg United, Doherty Cup final. Those are incredible scenes, seeing that late winner there for South Melbourne. Congratulations to them. Winning the Australia Cup. Sorry, not the Australia Cup. The Doherty Cup. But who knows? Maybe they could win the Australia Cup this year as well. G'day, Troy. Troy is here as well in the live chat. Good to see you here, Troy. Hunter says word on the street is that Jason Davidson's going back to Victory. Yeah, I saw that. Some tease online about that, right? Let me have a quick glance at the socials here as well. It's one that is sort of people have talked about for a little while now, but could it be happening? Jason Davidson to Melbourne Victory. Back to Melbourne Victory. I tell you what, it's an interesting one, and the reason why is because Melbourne Victory, like we know they lost Casey Boss, but they re-signed Adama Traore. They brought back on loan Franco Lino, who's the natural left back. They've already got 2 left backs there, and they're potentially set to bring back Jason Davidson. So they could be heading into this season, non-victory, with 3 left backs, unless they're imagining that, I don't know, whether Franco Lino plays as a centre back, but they've just brought in Seb Esposito, so I wonder what the thought is there for non-victory, or does Davidson play as a centre back, or even further up in a winger role? I don't know. Man. Anyway, all right, great to see everyone here in the live chat. We've got plenty of questions and comments rolling through. Appreciate it. Feel free to join the discussion in the live chat. Do you want promotion relegation system? Yeah, I think we all do. Nicholas. We all want promotion relegation. In terms of the reality of actually seeing it happen in Australia, I think it's a long way from happening, unfortunately. I think we're a long, long way. And I tell you what, and the Western United situation at the moment, I think, sort of is a good way to look at that. I think we have to focus on just getting the top flight, getting the A-League sorted out. A lot of has been spoken about in regards to the financial issues that the A-League faces. And, if we still have teams folding, that's not a good start. That's not a good, we got to get that sorted out. That can't be happening. So I think we have to focus on that first. So for me, promotion relegation, yes, I want it. I think we all want promotion relegation. It makes sense. But I think it's a long time before we see it. Lightning here says South Melbourne have the most Doherty Cups out of every team. Yes, it's a big record they have. Melbourne City do need to make a few more signings. Yes, they do. They're generally, from memory, they get pretty busy later on in the transfer window, though. So they are generally very effective when it comes to the transfer window. Alrighty, Troy says, I got my Mariners membership the other day. Still hopeful about our season amongst all the negatives. Yeah, look, hopefully things get turned around in regards to Mariners, and hopefully things can look a bit more positive going forward. Blinker says, match kicking off in Brisbane. Second half, kicking off in Brisbane. Thanks for that, Blinkers. And as Lightning says, yes, I wonder what's going on behind the scenes with Western United. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? So we'll see if any news comes out over the next week. Yeah. We just got to keep our fingers crossed that a positive outcome can be reached. But we don't know. And as Hunter says here, yeah, you've spot on there, Hunter, in regards to that promotion relegation discussion. Says Pro Rel is at least a decade or two away from happening, especially after the whole Western United situation. Yep. Yeah, exactly. If we have clubs folding and stuff, it's their license is being removed, I should say. That promotion relegation just isn't priority right now. Again, I want to reiterate, I'd love to have. I think we would all love to have promotion relegation. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's it could be a reality anytime soon. Maybe one day. So the second half is underway between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. 0-0 in that game. And the second half is about to get underway here for Western Sydney Wanderers, Heidelberg United. A 2-0 lead for Heidelberg United. Lightning says, I think Kai Truan should leave City because of not having guaranteed game time. Ooh, you reckon, Lightning? I feel like Kai Truan's a lock for that starting 11 at City. Who do you think, question for you, Lightning, who do you think would start ahead of Kai Truan? I imagine it's centre back there. They've got Cyprian. Who else have they got? I'm completely forgetting right now. But surely Kai Truan, his spot there at City is comfortable. He was very good for them last season. Peter Williams, thanks for joining us tonight. Says interesting/funny irony of having Heidelberg with 5 players out and not the pre-season A-League approach sometimes seen. Concept and timing of this comp makes it very intriguing indeed. And the second half is underway. So, looks like we've got a substitution here for Heidelberg United. Bisetto on for Niort. So, beat Niort with a couple of opportunities in that first half. It's the Central Coast Mariners' loanee, who started tonight for Heidelberg on that right wing. He has been substituted out of the game. Troy has asked here, any updates on those behind-the-scenes issues at Adelaide? Well, Ernest Faber had an interview with the media. Saw that online the other day, right? Yeah. So I don't know if anything has come out from that, but yeah, there was an interview that came out last week. I haven't had a chance to catch the whole thing. Lightning says, I feel like the A-League will have what happened to the NSL happen to it. I think, look, the A-League has gone through some tough times and will continue to go through some tough times. I'm hoping that we'll be right. So chance here for Wanderers, free kick early on in the second half. Goes back, Pantanzopoulos, two defenders standing over it. Pantanzopoulos shoots. Oh, what a save! Yaron Souza, who's been so good tonight, has drawn out a world-class save there. That is a phenomenal save from Yaron Souza. What a stop! Top corner. What a free kick from Pantanzopoulos. That was curling into the top corner. And the former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper, Yaron Souza, with one of the highlights of the game. That was a stunning save. Keeping Heidelberg United well and truly in a comfortable position is Yaron Souza. That's a big take. MPL is better than the A-League in my opinion. I mean, there's certainly some top MPL sides, top players in the MPL. But A-League is number one. Ferreira and Cyprian start over him. I feel like, in regards to Kai Truin at Melbourne City, I feel like Kai Truin would start ahead of... Well, at the start of last season, it was Ferreira who was on the bench. So I feel like Truin would start. For me, Kai Truin is Melbourne City's best centre back for sure. But the thing is, as well, Lightning, is that even if those two guys start, Kai Truin can play in defensive midfield. So he's gonna find a way to be involved in City's matchday squad in their starting 11. We shouldn't forget Kai Truin. Didn't he have a Socceroos caller not too long ago as well? Those factors certainly are worth highlighting there, Lightning. It says the NPL is faster paced, more competitive, more entertaining. There's also relegation. Yep, they have promotion relegation. That's certainly a something to consider when comparing the leagues. Troy says that Truin was wasted at Brisbane. He should be starting for City. Yeah, he was fantastic at City last season. Like, you could really tell that he took his game to another level at Melbourne City last season. And his good form earned him the Socceroos call-up. And I'm surprised. I'll tell you what, I'm surprised that Kai Truin, there hasn't been any sort of talk online in regards to Kai Truin and maybe some interest overseas. Because how old is he now? Kai Truin's maybe 23, I'm guessing. Around about that. Surely there's some clubs, maybe from Europe, looking at Kai Truin. Top player. Still young. Peter says not to get that far ahead. Do you think this Western United scenario may open the door for another team from somewhere like Canberra? Conspiracy theory number one. I think regardless of even if this Western United situation wasn't happening, I think we were going to get the Canberra team eventually. Eventually. We don't know when, but hopefully one day. But yeah, so I don't think the Western United situation necessarily changes that. I guess that's my initial feelings on that. I mean, the bottom line is, I think we will get Canberra eventually, regardless. I think we're all hoping we get Canberra in the A-League men's competition. It makes the most sense. Ideally, we'd have men's and women's teams for all clubs. So hopefully, we see the women's teams for Macarthur and Auckland as well. Appreciate those updates, Lightning. Corner and free kick for Brisbane City. Hunter chiming in regards to that Melbourne City discussion. Maybe a rotating start for all three, Ferreira, Cyprian, and Trillin. Yeah, and look, it's great options for City to have, and Melbourne City often have pretty solid depth too. They've got players who they can bring in who are top quality. So Wanderers really on the front foot here at the start of the second half. They forced a great save out of Yaron Souza a couple moments ago. But Western Sydney clearly trying to commit some more numbers forward here. They need to get back into this game. Marcus says, wasn't there supposed to be an Auckland's women's team for this season? Yes, I think that was the plan. I remember reading something somewhere that I don't think that's going out for this coming season, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon, man. And Macarthur, what's happening with their women's team? Are they going to be joining the other women's competition as well? Gabrielle Cleur. Can't find a teammate. I mean, can Wanderers, will they even break through tonight? That's the question. So Heidelberg United have just been so strong in defence, dude. It's been so impressive. Troy a moment ago says, feels like never. In regards to Canberra, says, when we do, will they be called Canberra United? I'm thinking of doing a creative club on FC26 for Canberra in the new game. Will they be called Canberra United? Yeah, good question. I feel like I'd prefer a different name. I feel like we've got, we'll see what happens with Western United, but we already have, like I was thinking about this the other day, I'd love for new teams coming to the A-League to have, different interesting names rather than just FC or United. I've had Macarthur FC, Auckland FC, Western United. It'd be cool, for more interesting names. Like North Queensland Fury, for example. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? That might just be me. Western Sydney really building dangerously here. Bonnetig getting forward from centre back. Rolante chipping one over the top for Cleur. Flag is up. So this, I think we're only 8 minutes into this second half, but this is a bit of a preview of what this second half is going to look like. Western Sydney Wanderers just doing a whole lot of pushing, looking to break through this stubborn Heidelberg United defence. But how long can Heidelberg United hang on here? If they hold on for a 2-0 win here, it's one of the great cup sets in Australia Cup history. They've been very, very impressive. That is a poor giveaway, though. Wanderers could capitalise. Barbarousis through for Kowal. Cleared away. Wowee. All right, what else are we saying here? Tim Bob. G'day, Tim. Who says that the Canberra bid got approved, but it's a funding issue. No one wants to stump up the cash. Having just moved back to Canberra, I hope it gets sorted quickly. A lack of interesting pro sports here. Yeah, I think we all want a Canberra team, right? I mean, it's always a big discussion in regards to, what expansion teams do we want to see join the A League? What are the next locations that we want to see? And I think all of us are in agreement that Canberra is up there as number one, or one of the top choices. G'day, Sam. Good to see you here as well. Well, you've missed a couple goals here so far for Heidelberg United. Parliament FC. That's great. Oh, Olympic Kingsway goal. Thanks for the update in the chat, Lightning and Blinkers. They're showing us on the broadcast as well now. Great strike. Left foot. Olympic Kingsway have taken the lead in Brisbane. After the big cup set win against Melbourne Victory, Olympic Kingsway from Western Australia, 1-0 lead. Huge. Huge moment there. Nice finish indeed, Blinkers. Yeah. It's great in the Australia Cup. They've been having the the main game on Paramount Plus. That's the one we're watching tonight, Heidelberg United, West Sydney Wanderers. But in those simultaneous kickoffs, if there's ever a goal, they cut to the action. They show us what's going on in the other game. It was our last live stream that we did here a few weeks ago was pretty hectic. 4 simultaneous kickoffs. Not simultaneous. The Olympic Kingsway victory game kicked off a bit later that night. But it's always fun when you've got action all over the place. Non-stop goals. Lightning says, I want a team from Tassie. Yeah, I think we'll get one day. Maybe it's a fair way off, but yeah, it'd be good to see it one day. Oh, here's a chance in the box. Wanderers. The shot goes high over the bar from Aiden Hammond, who's been pretty lively tonight for Western Sydney. I certainly agree with Sam's sentiment here, saying that I will say that the day Western United do get dissolved, if it happens, I think it will be a dark day for Australian football. As let's face it, no matter who you support, no one wants to see a team dissolved. Well said, Sam. For the health of Australian football, for the health of the league, we can't have teams disappearing. Yeah. Nobody wants to see it. And that's that's what I've been saying. Like, it often comes up in our live streams that we do here. There's always people talking about MacArthur FC and Western United, those 2 expansion teams from a few years back, and questioning whether maybe those were the right locations. And hey, maybe I wouldn't have picked those locations if I was in charge. Those 2 teams have certainly provided a lot to the A-League, and if both of those clubs have won trophies, MacArthur and Western. But yeah, I've always reiterated that we need those teams. People saying that they should, those clubs should be in the A-League, but we need teams to thrive, to stay alive and thrive. Wanderers were almost in behind there a moment ago. Offside flag is up on Carluccio. Almost passing the hour mark. Alan Stajic on the cameras. He's on the broadcast. He doesn't look too happy. Alukuwal. That's going to be a yellow card. It will be. Alukuwal almost breaking away here. And guaranteed yellow card there. Oh, have we got another goal in Queensland? Alan Stajic having a passionate conversation with the 4th official. Equaliser in Brisbane, folks. Brisbane City have won back. 1-1 between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. There we go. Waterheader says Lightning. Game on in Brisbane. Been a much better second half, says Blinkus. Thanks for those updates, guys. Really appreciate it. We have just ticked past the hour mark between Heidelberg United and Western Sydney Wanderers, and the A-League teams still trail here. Western Sydney Wanderers finishing 4th in the A-League men's last season. And here we go. They're finally... Oh, great header indeed. Just got a look at that goal for Brisbane City. Delivery looks good, and their header was fantastic. Well won in the air, and well put away. And as Lightning says here as well, Boland's on. Liam Boland, the hero from the round of 32. And the Australia Cup final rounds, all-time greatest goal scorer. Here's Pantanzopoulos, leaping on the shot. Again, like, it's been a little bit better from Wanderers in the second half in just regards to their general play, I think. They've been a bit more... Like it was a bit too lazy, and not lazy, that's not the right word. It was a bit too slow, I think, in that first half. Maybe a bit too predictable. But in this second half, they're playing with a bit more intensity, Western Sydney Wanderers. Trying to find a way back into this game. Heidelberg United, incredibly, with a 2-goal lead here. Here we go. On the counter-attack here, Heidelberg. If they grab a third here, dude, that would be monumental in this fixture. They're starting to commit some numbers forward here, Heidelberg. Wanderers with some players back. But yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of time to go. But a third goal may well seal it. Comes through to Lawrence Thomas. G'day, Nama. Good to see you here. Sam asking if we, said if we beat the Bulls, of course. Cooks Hill as well, I suppose. Kingsway should have gotten a red, says Lightning. Appreciate these updates here. We are focusing on the Heidelberg United Western Sydney Wanderers game tonight. But thanks to everyone who's keeping us updated on the other game tonight. Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway 1-1 in that game. Heidelberg United on the front foot again. Alan Stajic, I don't think he'll be too happy with what he's seen tonight from his side. They need to elevate. An hour of football has been played. And it's Heidelberg United with the lead. Messi Otis, former Melbourne Victory player, playing that defensive midfield role for Heidelberg United. He's been good tonight. So a bit of controversy in the other game. Is it a red? Lightning says that should have gotten a red. Tim Bob says that's never a red. 2 defenders behind the ball. Lightning's backing a South Melbourne Cup set tomorrow night over Auckland 2-1. That would be huge. Auckland were very good against Gold Coast Knights in the round of 32. 4-0 win. So I think Auckland will win tomorrow, but you never know. South Melbourne made it to the semi-finals last year. Oh, apologies, Sam. Yes, that comment earlier. Scrolling up there. Sam, just checking that comment from a moment ago. It is mad that as a Jets fan, this could have been us a couple months ago, and not to be rude to Western United, but losing the Jets would be worse and a huge loss for the A-League. Also, I see a cheeky cup semi. Right, I see your comment there, Sam. Dude, and yeah, we were saying it earlier. Actually, it's really interesting looking at the pathway in the Australia Cup at the moment, and And MacArthur at sea, Newcastle Jets, one of those teams could have a pretty clean run to the final. Yeah. Couple of changes, multiple changes for both teams. Will Tongic's on for Western Sydney Wanderers, re-signing with the club. And Marcus Eunice has also entered the field, so a couple of changes there for Western Sydney. Who are starting to run out of time. They need 2 goals to get back into this. 3 changes, in fact, as Gersbach come off. Well, apparently Aiden Simmons is on for Gersbach as well. So that may well be a triple change here. Just keeping an eye on the Wanderers lineup here, folks, and what is going on. So Aiden Simmons is on. Looks like it's Pantan Zopoulos has gone to left back. Interesting. Meanwhile, Marcus Eunice is on. I believe it was Aiden Hammond who made way, perhaps. Or was it Barbarousis? Multiple changes for Wanderers. Alrighty. G'day, Matt. Good to see you here. Matt says, the runs of the NPL sides are so much more enjoyable since they scrapped the rule that guaranteed one of them in the semi-final spot. Yeah. Another opportunity for Wanderers. Alu Kowal chasing a goal here for Western Sydney. Troy, interesting question here from Troy, who asks, do you think City, being in the Champions League this year, they'll struggle a bit in the league? Well, good question, Troy. We'd love to hear from you guys. Mariners were in the Asian Champions League Elite last year and struggled big time. Will the same thing happen to Melbourne City? I think Melbourne City wants... I don't think they'll struggle as much. Actually, I tell you what, it will be interesting. And I'm very curious to see how City go in the Asian Champions League Elite this year, because it's obviously the new league format, which we saw last year as well. But I'm really curious to see how City go. I do hope, just from like an Australian point of view, that they actually go all right. Mariners really struggled in the Champions League Elite last season. But as you're asking there, Troy, because they're in the Champions League, does that mean they'll struggle in the league? It might impact things a little bit for them. I think it is worth considering, and they do need to make some more signings if they do want to really be successful in all competitions. Tell you what, competition Melbourne City weren't interested in being successful in. That's the Australia Cup. I mean, of course, they've got some fantastic young players. They've got an incredible academy there, Melbourne City, but they left out so many of their regular first-team players for that round of 32 matchup. And obviously lost to Apia Leichhardt a few weeks back. So, yeah. Alrighty, what else are we saying here? As Troy says here, in regards to the Mariners, says we were just unlucky. We lost all of our players. I do wonder how Mariners would have gone last season in the Champions League Elite if they still had the likes of Nisbet and Ballard and Farrell and all that. Yeah. I do wonder. Lightning says City will finish second and Wanderers first. Yeah, like I here on the channel, I did a video like a month or so ago now, doing my early A-League ladder prediction, and I called Wanderers to finish pretty high. I'm trying to remember where I called them. Second or first or something. Yeah, pretty high. I think regardless, even if this result stays as it is, I think I'll be pretty confident with West City Wanderers this season. This may well just be a one-off for the Wanderers, but yeah, I'm optimistic that they'll be strong this year, Wanderers. Free kick for Heidelberg, not the best delivery. It's a bit too low. Still on there for the home team. Nice pass down the line. Here's a chance for Heidelberg United. Can they get a third? Cross is high. Punched away by Thomas. Lesiotis, edge of the box. Oh, almost in behind again. They're looking dangerous, Heidelberg, when they get forward, that's for sure. They've won it again. Heidelberg, dude, Wanderers just, again, looking so shaky at the back tonight, so they do have to sort that out, that's for sure. Tan Lee a moment ago said, "Hey Lockie, hey Tan Lee, good to see you here, mate. Do you think there is much of a skill gap between the A-League and the NPL?" Well, I mean, even from nights like tonight, it's showing us that the skill gap isn't necessarily that big. I think there's often times, as we have seen in the Cup this year, where the A-League teams have clearly overpowered the NPL opposition. But there's plenty of players and teams across the NPL competitions who could certainly match it with some A-League teams. Yeah. Important question from asks Butter here. What's your favorite Pokemon? I mean, you put me on the spot here. I don't know, man. Charizard. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Alrighty. Lightning says Brisbane have like 1.6k people at their game. Love it. Always great to see the big crowds in attendance for these, relatively big crowds, of course, in attendance for these Australia Cup games. Western Sydney Wanderers are running out of time, folks. 72nd minute. Heidelberg United with a 2-goal lead. Those 2 goals coming in the first half. Western Sydney Wanderers, they've made 4 substitutions now. So they've got 1 more up their sleeve. Pantanzopoulos playing at left back. He's moving high up that left flank and crosses to no one. Lightning says, if it's 2 NPL teams in the final, where would it be played? Example, South Melbourne versus Avondale. Well, it would be, I mean, yeah, I think when it comes to who hosts the Australia Cup final, Football Australia, I think, make that decision. Hey, I think they get to have the final say on that. But I'll tell you what, like, if for example, if it was South Melbourne Avondale, which could happen because they're on opposite ends of the bracket, the draw. I wouldn't be surprised if they did play it at Amy Park, just because it's Amy Park, it's a bigger stadium. But it would be cool to see it played at a small. If it was played at a small stadium, it would have a huge, be a rocking atmosphere, that's for sure. But here's a chance, almost in behind again. Heidelberg Wanderers, dude, what are you doing? Even Simmons coming to the rescue, but there's been so many moments tonight where Wanderers have just been a little bit shaky back. Hunter says, I've just realised it's possible that there's a New Zealand derby in the semi-final. Yes, that's right. That's right. So again, the winner of tonight of Heidelberg Wanderers, this game we're focusing on tonight, the winner of this game will take on Wellington Phoenix. The winner of Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway, the winner of that other game tonight, will play the winner of Avondale and Apia Leichhardt. Those 2 teams playing tomorrow night. Decent crowd in attendance at Heidelberg United's home ground here for this one. Looks like a pretty cold, rainy night in Melbourne tonight. I mean, interesting move here. I wonder what the thinking was from Alan Stadjic, or whether maybe there was an injury involved, but to bring off Gersbach and to shift Pantanzopoulos to left back. Interesting move. Interesting move. Nice little, as literally as I was about to say there, nice little passing move for Western Sydney Wanderers. It comes undone from them, and the ball over the top for Heidelberg United. Here's a chance. Taking him on. Love it. Love it. Around the defenders. Trying to find a gap. Western Sydney. Good defending there just to deal with that situation. Heidelberg United. Not in any rush to commit too many numbers forward. Alrighty. Nama asks, is there any news on Mata? No, unfortunately. Yeah, we don't know what's happening with one Mata. Tanley asks, is there any news on the second division? And is there any hope left for Western United? Is there any hope left for Western United? They're going to fight right to the death, I'm sure. Western United's very passionate fan base there, and we hope they do get to stick around Western United. We just have to wait and see what's going to happen there. Yeah. In regards to the second division, it's all set to go ahead. Australian Championship later this year, kicking off in October. It kicks off the week before the A-League Men's will kick off. That we do know. And the groups for that tournament are already starting to be finalised, with many of the premiers across the NPL competitions being decided. Metro Stars recently winning the South Australia Premiership. Heidelberg United could be one of those teams in the championship later this year, as well as this corner comes in. Great chance! Oh my gosh, what? Are you kidding me? What a miss there. Heidelberg United. Oh, what a chance, dude. Right in front. Well, Heidelberg United could have sealed the game right there. Shot from directly in front, sailing wide. Wanderers are on the attack. Marcus Eunice trying to wrestle through. Can't manage it. Dude, man, I tell you what. Heidelberg are winning this game. This has just been a really resolute performance from Heidelberg United. They haven't given Wanderers anything. They've completely matched them and surpassed them, really, in many aspects tonight, Western Sydney Wanderers. As Heidelberg United. They've been so impressive. And again, we were wary of Heidelberg United heading into this game, that they could really prove a tricky test here for Wanderers. But I don't think any of us expected this sort of performance and scoreline, especially at half-time, for them to have that 2-goal lead. Very impressive tonight, Heidelberg United, and they are closing in on a historic cup set victory. And that's right, Hunter, thanks for reminding me as well. Broadmeadow Magic have also qualified for the championship. There we go. Ball swung in for Wanderers, headed up by Collins for Heidelberg. And again, they deal with it. Like so many occasions when Wanderers have tried, they haven't necessarily played too many crosses. They've tried to sort of play their way through Heidelberg, but even the crosses are being dealt with by Heidelberg. Shot stats on the broadcast are showing it. 14 shots for Wanderers, 7 for Heidelberg. And the cross comes in, and it's Benjamin Collins again with a header away. Former Western United defender Collins has been fantastic at the back for Heidelberg tonight. Very, very good. What have you got, Wanderers? This is a real interesting examination of Western Sydney. They're in a tricky position. How do they get out of it? Nice play down the right. A little bit of space here. The cross is swung in. Misses everyone. Comes out for Bonatig. Pantanzopoulos. All the defenders are up now as well. That's it's a terrible cross. Anthony Pantanzopoulos has sent that past everyone. Appreciate you guys joining us for this live stream tonight. Really mean it. Hit the like button to support the channel, man. We are all about creating a fun community for Australian football fans. Discussion on all things A-Leagues, Australia Cup, Socceroos, Matildas. Hunter says here, it's looking more than likely that Heidelberg will qualify for the championship as well, unless they record 2 losses and Dandenong Thunder record 2 wins. There we go, yeah. They deserve it. They've been so good this season in NPL Victoria, Heidelberg United. They've been very, very good. 82nd minute. Yaron Souza on the end of it again. I mean, if we're talking about play of the match tonight, Yaron Souza is probably up there with some incredible saves tonight for Heidelberg United. The former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. There is still time for Western Sydney. They've got time on their side to grab 2 goals at least to get themselves back in this game. But it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. This is a good run. Heidelberg United are in the box. Rolls out for a goal kick though. Linux Patrick Beach will be the next Australia goalkeeper. He's definitely in the mix, I'll say that. He was great last season for Melbourne City. And an important re-signing, locking him down for another couple of years, Patrick Beach. Yeah. Top young keeper. '84th minute now. Pantanzopoulos. Looks like he's setting up for a long throw. The throw isn't great. Everyone was sort of set up in front of the goal there, and it fell short of everyone, really. Troy says, I miss Souza. Never had a chance with Vuka in there, but I'm not overly confident that on Perech Cullen. Just doesn't seem to be kicking the ball with his hands always on the ground first. Dylan Perech Cullen, I mean, yeah, I was happy with him last season. Obviously, there were some mistakes there, but you're going to get that. He was just 18 years of age, his first full season in the A-League. But yeah, Yaron Souza, former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. Bonatig's cross. Not a bad... just missed everyone. That is true indeed, Lightning. Yes, Beach, an ex-Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. Never played for the first team, but was at the club a few years back. Peter says, full credit to Heidelberg. They've thrown Western Sydney right off their game. They're chasing everything down like terriers. Well put. Here comes Pantanzopoulos. The shot is blocked. Appeals for a handball. Referee says he hit the chest, and I agree with that. Based on initial glance at that chance there. G'day, Jimbo. Says Sydney FC to win the Australia Cup. I mean, I don't think Sydney FC fans are necessarily all that confident that they could go all the way, but they could get it done. They could get it done, especially if Douglas Costa, returns soon. Yeah, they could. So Wanderers, they really have to score soon now if they want to keep their Australia Cup dream alive. They've never made it to an Australia Cup final before. Western Sydney Wanderers. Tim Bob with an interesting comment here regarding Patrick Beach. Says Beach will probably end up as this generation's catch. He will be stuck behind Gauchi since they are so close in age. Interesting thought. Interesting thought. Yeah, and look, very interested to see how Joe Gauchi goes this season. Port Vale joining them on loan this season. Hopefully he is starting week in, week out for the League One club. And Hunter asking the question here, is this the same team as who played Peninsula Power last week? Kryev was the glue that stuck the team together, it seems. Big blow. If you guys missed it, after, 10 minutes or something like that, Bojdar Kryev off injured. And he had a couple goals in the round of 32. To help Wanderers get the win there. So it's a corner here for Western Sydney. Pantanzopoulos with a delivery. Comes out for Eunice. Sends it out wide. Pantanzopoulos with a bit of time out wide. Rolante opting not to cross it in. Back for Simmons. Slow build. I mean, they're just taking their time here, Wanderers. Time they don't have. Headers flicked in. But Heidelberg United just always seem to have someone behind there to clear it away. Really gutsy stuff from Heidelberg United here at the back. They've won a free kick. It could, yeah. As Lightning says here, we could. Is that right? Yeah, no, I think you are right. We could get a South Melbourne Heidelberg United semi-final. There'd have to be a few big cup sets for that to happen, that's for sure. I'm definitely backing Auckland to get the win tomorrow night against South Melbourne. I think they're big favourites. And I mean that could see Sydney FC take on Auckland. Sydney FC will be playing the winner, South Melbourne, Auckland FC. Oh man, I mean, there hasn't really been. Here's the thing, right? There hasn't really been many stoppages this half, right? No goals. We've had a few subs. There hasn't really been any injuries that I can remember from this second half. So there isn't any reason why we should get that much stoppage time, really. 3 minutes, perhaps? So Wanderers are just minutes away from being knocked out of the cup here. Eunice is dispossessed in the penalty area. Oh, here's a chance to seal it, Heidelberg United. Little mix-up at the back. Wanderers. Again, this is awful at the back from Wanderers. Chance for Heidelberg. It's flicked in. It's clipped over the bar, but there is seriously some defensive frailty here tonight from West Sydney Wanderers. That much is apparent. We're talking a lot about them earlier and even their aspirations for this A-League season. How far could they go in the competition? I mean, if they want to be finishing high up the ladder, they have to sort out their defence because there's just been so many occasions where they've just looked so shaky at the back. Troy says, good to see Heidelberg beat someone else, not just us. That's right. Heidelberg United got the win against Mariners last year in the Cup, and they are minutes away from another big Cup set. Hunter says Auckland will have a repeat of last season, I think, though probably not getting the premiership. Yeah, look, I think I'm with you there, Hunter. I think they'll be strong again, but they could drop off a little bit. So, how much injury time will we get? Wanderers send it long. Kowal on the ball, edge of the box. 4 minutes. Why did they cut away from the action to show that? They cut away from the action when the substitution board was up. And here come Heidelberg United the other way to seal it. Cutting inside. Oh, what a goal! Heidelberg United are going through. What a way to finish it. That is a fantastic goal from Anthony Lesiotis. Oh, look at the scenes. The celebrations. 3 goals for Heidelberg United over Western Sydney Wanderers. This is a historic cup set. An emphatic cup set. It was 3-on-2 at the halfway line there. And Lesiotis, who's been so good in midfield today for Heidelberg. What a finish. Curling effort to the bottom corner. That is a beautiful goal. The former Melbourne City player, Anthony Lesiotis, sealing it. It felt like, honestly, if anyone was going to score in the second half, it felt like it was going to be Heidelberg United. They are going through to take on Wellington Phoenix. No doubt about it now, with just a couple minutes remaining. Western Sydney Wanderers, this is incredibly disappointing. And again, just like surprising considering what we saw from Wanderers just a couple weeks ago in the round of 32. A relatively comfortable win over Peninsula Power, but here they have been foiled by Heidelberg United. Truly incredible stuff. Blinkers says, Blinkers with a comment here says, there's not a cup set if they keep doing it. I mean, they're making this a regular occurrence now. 2 back-to-back years. Mariners and now Wanderers. 2 minutes left. Western Sydney Wanderers. I mean, we're saying that they're going to need to sort out the defence, but do they need more in attack? And the Kowal has it in the box, but he can't control it. They've just been out-muscled every time they've gotten into the penalty area, Western Sydney Wanderers. It's not been good enough. It's not been good enough. So there is a lot of work for Alan Stajic to do ahead of this upcoming A-League season. I think this game has told us a lot about Western Sydney Wanderers. 3-0. 3-0. I mean, there probably was a decent number of people that would have predicted Heidelberg United to get the win here. Even in my predictions, I backed Heidelberg to get the win, but I don't think any of us expected this sort of a scoreline. 3-0. What a performance. Down the left, Pantanzopoulos. Can they get a consolation goal here? Again, the delivery is just not great. Overall, it's been a really poor game from Western Sydney. There's no doubt about it, really. Very poor going forwards and in defence. Even comparing it to the last season for Wanderers, this is probably one of Wanderers' worst performances in recent history, really. Full-time, Heidelberg United 3, Western Sydney Wanderers 2. Incredible. What a performance from Heidelberg United. One of the top teams in NBL Victoria have completely dismantled Western Sydney Wanderers. That is one of the all-time greatest cup sets. Wow, dude. Unbelievable. 3-0 Western Sydney Wanderers just scratching their heads as to where it went wrong for them. An injury to Bojlar Kraev early on certainly affecting things, but they needed to be better tonight, Western Sydney Wanderers, and they were second best in just about every aspect. Wow. Well, we've still got one other game going on. Brisbane City, Olympic Kingsway. 1-1 in that game. we'll flick over to that one. 2 goals in quick succession there between those two teams. We'll have to see what's happening over there in Brisbane. Hunter highlights here. Thanks for this, Hunter. Says, not the first cup set for Wanderers 2. Adelaide City won 1-0 in 2014. And Apia Leichhardt 2-1 in 2021. That's right, Hunter. Yeah, and that Adelaide City victory over Wanderers, that was the first ever cup set, wasn't it? 2014. So there you go, Hunter. Wanderers' 3rd cup set loss in their history in just over 10 years. There you go. No worries, Lightning. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. So we are going to tune in now to Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway for extra time. 2 NPL teams battling it out for a position in the quarterfinals. The winner between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. The winner will play the victor of Avondale Apia Leichhardt. An all NPL quarterfinal on the way. So extra time is about to kick off. No worries, Marcus. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And Blinkers as well, saying extra time in Brisbane. Pens would be interesting, given both keepers seem in good form tonight. Appreciate the updates tonight, Blinkers, as well, on this Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway game. And we are now tuning into that one as well. So our timer here, our clock, is going to sync up with that game now, because Heidelberg United have wrapped up their incredible 3-0 victory over Western Sydney Wanderers, but the action does not end there, folks. The night goes on. Extra time awaits. And possibly penalties. Olympic Kingsway with that dramatic win in the round of 32, that 4-3 victory against Melbourne Victory. Can they achieve a similar feat here? Away from home this time. We are underway in extra time. Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1. Liam Boland is on the field. A few former A-League players on show as well for both teams. Worth highlighting. Corey Brown at left back for Brisbane City, former Brisbane Roar and Melbourne Victory defender. Mitch Oxborough lining up for Olympic Kingsway, as well as Aaron Williams, former Perth Glory defender. And Liam Boland, who's the all-time top goal scorer when it comes to the final rounds of the Australia Cup. He is on. So that's a big one. Hunter says, love a good cup set, honestly. Would love to see South Melbourne record 1-2. That would be even bigger. Because I think as Heidelberg United are having such a good season, South Melbourne struggling a little bit in NPL Victoria. They're not towards the top at the moment. If they were to defeat Auckland, I think that would be an enormous cup set. So that would be even bigger. Yeah. Troy asks, what are your thoughts on Thomas Frank managing Spurs now? Look, I'm intrigued to see how Spurs go with Thomas Frank after this roller coaster of an era under Ange Postecoglou. And look, we're all very curious to see what Ange does next. But with Thomas Frank, I'm optimistic that Tottenham will do okay. I think if they can avoid injuries like they had last year, I think we could see a top half finish in the Premier League for Tottenham. Obviously, a lot of us very interested in the English Premier League kicking off this coming weekend. It was great. I don't know if you guys saw as well. Of course, as we know, the Premier League will be on Stan Sport for this coming season. And it was announced that there's going to be the early kickoff this Saturday. Aston Villa Newcastle is going to be on free-to-air TV in Australia. Channel 9. Great news. Awesome. Love it. Love it. He certainly did well at Brentford, says Troy. Yes. Yes, he did. He did indeed. And, with some top players at Tottenham. Very curious to see how he goes with the squad. And I think Spurs do have a good team for this season. Some of their signings have been good. Really intrigued to see how Kudus goes at Tottenham. I think that's a smart signing. That's surprising, says Troy. Yeah, in regards to the Channel 9 thing. Yeah, that's cool. I hope it's a regular thing. I don't know if they've said if it's gonna be like a weekly thing. But yeah, that early kickoff is a bit more comfortable for us in Australia, for the English Premier League, isn't it? For the Eastern States, kicking off at 9:30 p.m. At least before daylight savings kicks in. Hunter says, and said he'd get them a trophy. Frank said he'd work hard. Definitely shows the difference in how they present themselves to the public. Yeah, look, yeah. And wasn't that great how Ange did get them the trophy in the end? Hey. And Tottenham will always remember that. And, from what we saw online, a lot of Tottenham fans were upset when Ange was let go. It was it was just incredible just to see that whole thing pan out, that whole situation pan out with Ange and winning that Europa League trophy and then getting sacked, what was it, a couple weeks later or something? Crazy. Incredible. Yeah. 4 minutes into extra time here. We are watching Brisbane City, Olympic Kingsway. 2 NPL teams in action. Troy says, especially in this day and age, group of streaming services. Never thought I'll go back. It'll go back that way, even one game. Back to free to air. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's funny, eh? With everything on streaming services now, it's cool. It's great, even if it's just the one game. So I am curious to see whether they'll make it a regular thing. I hope they do. That'd be awesome. Yeah. It would be great if one day, I think it would be really beneficial for the A-League. I don't wonder what you guys think. I think it would be beneficial for the A-League to be on the same streaming service as the English Premier League. Like, as we know, there are so many followers of the Premier League here in Australia. It is huge. And I don't know whether I'm just viewing it too simplistically, but I think if you had the A-League on that same streaming service, like if the A-League maybe was one day on Stan Sport, I think that'd be a massive boost for the A-League. Even if there are football fans who maybe aren't that interested in the A-League, staying up for the Premier League, they tune into the A-League before the Premier League kicks off. Not a bad way to spend your Saturday night. You can gain some more A-League fans that way. Bit of a goal mouth scramble there for Brisbane City. Almost finding a way through for goal number 2. Olympic Kingsway. Some desperate defending at the back. Troy says 100%. It's anything to promote the league. It's not like the APL care, says Troy. Yeah, I think it'd be great. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome if it was just on the same streaming service? And, I mean, not only would it, I think it would be good to have it on the same streaming service as the Premier League, but it would be great for everyone not having to pay for, 2 separate streaming services there as well. Everything is on the same thing. So, yeah. And it's not just the Premier League they've got as well. Hey, they've got, what else have they got? You guys can probably remind me. FA Cup. I think they have the J League as well. And there was maybe a couple others that I'm forgetting. NWSL perhaps as well. Stan Sport. I know they've got a handful of leagues. From Optus Sport. Brisbane City looking strong at this first period of extra time. Looks like a decent crowd in attendance for this one. Brisbane City defeating Olympic FC in the round of 32 to get to this stage. So 2 consecutive home fixtures in the Cup. That's a long-range shot. Oh, not too far away. Brisbane City. Great opportunity. Olympic Kingsway have been on the back foot to kick off this extra time period. But we know, we learnt from when they played non-victory. When they get forward, Olympic Kingsway, they look dangerous, dude. Thanks for that, Hunter. J-League and K-League they have. There we go. Champions League as well. There you go, Troy. I mean, that's another one as well. Obviously, the UEFA Champions League is a very popular competition in Australia. So, yeah. If the A-League was on that streaming service, I think it would just be huge. It would be huge for the A-League. And that's something that I often see pop up in comment sections in videos and stuff regarding the A-League. And people saying that, they're not even aware of the games that are on because they're just on a different streaming service. Even thinking, KO, the A-League used to be on KO, obviously with Foxtel and back in the day. We know a lot of Aussie sports fans have KO with the NRL and AFL as Brisbane City. Great chance. Low driving cross. There's a top save by the keeper to claim it. As Blinkers said earlier, it's the goalkeepers who've been in charge tonight. Adrian Singara claiming that one. Hunter says Stan also has the German Cup competition. Peter asks, will we see you running these live chats during the A-League season this year? Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yes. We'll definitely have live watch-alongs throughout the upcoming season. Definitely keen to bring them back. We've had a few over the last couple of months, which has been fun. We did some live watch-alongs for Matilda's games as friendlies a month or so ago, and this is our second Australia Cup watch-along for this year. And the A-League season gets underway October 17, and we'll definitely have some live watch-alongs throughout the season. Yeah. It's always good fun. Troy here saying that I was talking about it with someone the other day, and we were playing at home in Gosford, the Mariners, and this guy had no idea. It's sad it's not more advertised. Yeah, and of course, we all know that it needs more advertising too. The marketing needs to step up. But, obviously we need more funding. Maybe we don't have the funding, so it's all about the money as well. So many factors at play. It's always, it's often tricky in a country that focuses so much on AFL and NRL and other competitions as well. But we're going to keep persevering, man. And that's part of, why we've got this channel as well. I think a big thing when it comes to football, we know there's such a strong fan base for it, and there are so many people that play football in Australia and maybe don't follow the A-League, but follow overseas leagues like the English Premier League. But it's all about us fans sort of making the noise and creating content. That's sort of what we're doing here. Even you guys are a part of this channel as well. Part of these discussions, part of these live streams, and trying to build awareness and noise about the league. Hey, we're just going to keep on persevering, even if it does feel a bit tough at times. Obviously, a bit tricky time at the moment in regards to Western United, and it's tough seeing what that club is going through at the moment and the uncertainty surrounding Western United. And who knows, even just in the next couple of weeks or so, we may not see Western United exist going forward. We don't know. We don't know what's happening. So we have to wait and see. Hunter asks, what are your thoughts on the J-League going to a winter format, matching most of the world in their calendar? I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. I think it's a good move. Obviously, the J-League has traditionally followed the calendar year, but I think it does make sense, Hunter. Yeah. maybe we'll see all leagues run in that format all across the world. Just for cohesion, you know. I know the MLS follows the calendar year as well. I wonder if the MLS would consider shifting over to that setup as well. Although I'm sure there's clashes with other codes as well there in the US, perhaps. The league is improving. The crowds are getting better. Yeah, I saw some posts the other day from the A-Leagues. Didn't they share something the other day or the other week that the numbers are on the up in regards to attendances and engagement, people watching the league. And look, some of that has come from Auckland. We do have to acknowledge that Auckland FC have been a massive boost to the league, even just in regards to attendances. They've had a big impact on the A-League, and they've been a welcome addition to the competition. Getting close to the end of this first period of extra time, Brisbane City have been on the front foot for much of this extra time period so far. Olympic Kingsway unable to really create much in extra time up to this point. 1-1 between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. Appreciate you guys sticking around for our live watch along tonight. We are in extra time between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. 3-0 win earlier tonight for Heidelberg United over Western Sydney Wanderers. Big cup set win. Make sure to hit the like button, support the channel. Three more games on tomorrow night as well in the cup. I love that they've done the 4 consecutive days as well for the round of 16. It's been fun. Which they don't often do. Usually they spread it out a bit. But we've got the 4 consecutive days. They don't often play cup games on a Monday night. We had that game last night, Metro Stars MacArthur. They are often, sometimes on the weekend and midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday. But we've got the 4 consecutive days, which has been fun. The final days tomorrow. And then we'll know the teams competing in the quarterfinals. Hunter here says that heard there were talks of shifting over to the winter format and the MLS might move this season. Though I heard they've talked about it like 5 times in the 21st century, says Hunter. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just wonder if it's a matter of maybe the concern is competing with the other codes there in the US, perhaps. I'm not as familiar with the sporting landscape over there. Of course, I'm aware that there's some pretty big leagues over there. Here's a chance down the left. Corey Brown for City, chipping it in. Away by Williams. 1 minute added on at the end of this first period of extra time. Cross comes in for City again. Again, it's cleared away by Kingsway. Who defensively are looking strong. A little bit of a coming together here between some of the players. The ref, how about that? The ref putting his arms around the players, just trying to calm things down. And almost kicked off there between a couple of the players. Labib, not happy with something. Obviously, it's so intense when it comes to these all NPL matchups, especially at this stage in the Cup, round of 16. These two teams will be aware that they have a straight run to the semi-finals. They've got no A-League teams to compete against all the way up to the semi-finals. Jimbo's back in the Brisbane City win. Well, they're looking favourites at the moment. It's still 1-1 though. And it is half-time in extra time. 15 minutes remain and possibly penalties. Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1. All right. Troy says, my mate is in Toronto now, back on the coast in a few weeks. He is watching Toronto play live. Love it. And in regards to that MLS conversation we're having, Hunter says the Canadian clubs would probably have huge problems with snow, more so than the English clubs. That's a fair point there, Hunter, as well. Yeah. Yes, I'm sure that would be an issue as well, wouldn't it? So that's the thing even when it comes to the A League as well, and thinking about lining up competitions in certain times of the year. I mean, obviously in Australia we have to deal with the heat, and we don't have those early kickoffs anymore just because it does get so hot in summer, which is obviously smart. Something that a lot of people talk about, well, maybe not a lot of people, but that I think about a lot at least, is I think I'd be curious to see more early games kick off on even like a Thursday night. I think that would be interesting. Like, as we know, in summertime, they don't really want to do any kickoffs before 5 p.m., which is understandable. I think it would be cool just to try games on like a Thursday night, or even if you could get 2 games on a Friday night. I think that could be worth a shot. They do it sometimes, and I know they do it sometimes with the New Zealand teams. I remember sometimes Wellington Phoenix will play a Friday night game, and it'll kick off at 6 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern time, which will be 7:30 p.m. over there. You could probably do that, especially considering you've got 2 New Zealand teams. So I'd love to see that, rather than trying to fit heaps of games on a Saturday or Sunday, and you've got the hot conditions to deal with. Play another Friday night game or a Thursday night game. I'm not the biggest fan of a Monday night, but I feel like Thursday night would be cool. Troy says that would be fun. Tim Bob says loved the Thursday night and Monday night kickoffs they did a few times last year. Yeah, I remember a few games. They had a few MacArthur games kicking off on a Monday, from memory. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Makes the weekend feel longer. And honestly, like, it allows people more time to digest the games, I think, as well. It can be tricky keeping up with all the games if you've got 3-4 games on one day. Oh, we're underway. Got to get the timer clicking. Second period of extra time here. Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1. Who will be going through to the quarterfinals? This is a big matchup, folks. This is a big one. So much on the line for these two teams, dude. Olympic Kingsway were pretty quiet in that first period of extra time. What can they do? Can they try and get Liam Boland a little bit more involved in this contest? Hunter says it'll either be Thursday night games or having to deal with multiple games kicking off at the same time. Troy says I remember going to Mariners versus Sydney on a Friday night. Was amazing atmosphere. There was 13,000 people and the place was just vibing. Hunter says especially if we keep getting more teams in the league. Yeah, I think while the competition is still at 13, maybe 12 for the A-League men's competition, still at that number of teams, I do want us to avoid the simultaneous kickoffs. I know we had that a couple of years ago on Saturday night. They had the simultaneous kickoff. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I think just considering that, we only have 6 games around, I think, we've got to try and keep the games separate for now. But as you say, Hunter, if more teams join the league, 7-8 games a week, we may have to see the simultaneous kickoffs. And if I had to pick a time slot for the simultaneous kickoff, I was going to say Saturday night, but it would be good to have a standalone, big sort of game as a standalone Saturday night primetime kickoff fixture. Maybe the 5 o'clock could be the simultaneous kickoff. And then at 7:30, you've got the standalone big fixture. So that would be your Sydney derby or your Melbourne derby kicking off later on a Saturday night. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. G'day, best YouTube. What happened to Western Sydney Wanderers? That is the question. And best YouTube also asks, is it true that Heidelberg United used their B side and still smashed Western Sydney Wanderers? They were still indeed fielding a strong team. They had a very strong team tonight. Heidelberg, many of their stars involved tonight, and they were just too good. West Sydney Wanderers were so off their game, man. And they took their chances, Heidelberg. Another big cup set for them. Terrific performance early tonight. 3-0 win for Heidelberg United over West Sydney Wanderers. As Tim Bob here says as well, we have so few games. We don't need to kick off at the same time. Troy says, personally, that shouldn't happen right now. Not enough teams for simultaneous games. Yeah, I agree with you guys, definitely. Tim Bob also says the 4 games in a row on a Saturday, starting in New Zealand, and then 2 on the eastern seaboard and finishing up in Perth are always my favourite days. 8 hours on the couch. Yeah, those are all right, and not like all the time. Like make them a special occasion. Like a few times throughout the season, you get those. Yeah, the 4 back-to-back games. I think that's cool. Ooh, long-range effort here from City, who are pushing. Brisbane City chasing this winning goal in extra time. Can Heidelberg beat Wellington? Absolutely. Dude, I tell you what, that quarterfinal is going to be really interesting to watch because you've got Wellington Phoenix, who are still sort of rebuilding their team for this new season. A lot of young players in that squad. Only just got through against Nunawading. I think Heidelberg United, they honestly might be favourites in that game. They may well be favourites in that game in the quarterfinals. Troy also says, I can't watch that much A-League every week. Need to spread it out more. Yeah, I'm a bit of the same. I prefer it. Oh, no, I think I do prefer it to be spread out a little bit. Yeah. Because, yeah, I often, watch the replays of the games as well. So if it's spread out, it makes things a bit easier. 10 minutes remaining in extra time. 1-1 between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. Full time in the other game. Heidelberg United 3, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Thanks again, guys, for joining us tonight. We are coming to the final stages of this one. Tell you what, it feels like we're destined for a penalty shootout at this rate. Hunter says, right now, it's the perfect amount of teams to have like 2 games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back, with the occasional 3rd or 4th game on a Saturday. Yep. Yeah, I'd go for that. Yeah, even now, I would go for 2 games on a Friday. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I guess it's different for people, and people have different work schedules and all that. So, yeah. Especially because I feel like in summertime on a weekend, like a lot of people are out and about in the day. A lot of people are going to the beach or out and about during the day in summer. So that's why I think I prefer maybe like another Friday night kickoff rather than an early Saturday kickoff. But that's just me. You might have a different preference. Nice flick on here. Brisbane City away down the left wing. Just one play to aim for. Shot comes in. Oh, dude, almost. Tell you what, Brisbane City, that was a great opportunity. Fizzing shot/cross. Couldn't find a finishing touch to tap it home. But in extra time, it's absolutely been Brisbane City who have been on top. There's no doubt about that. That is for sure, bro. So let's see if we can see the stats in this game so far. Wowee, shot stats. 31 shots for Brisbane City. This is coming from FontMob. 31 shots for Brisbane City. Just 12 shots for Kingsway tonight. 64% possession for Brisbane City. It's the home team who have been Dominating tonight. Wow. Over 30 shots for Brisbane City. Troy says, I work any day, get random 2 days off. Could be any day, but when Mariners play at home, I take them off. Love it, Troy. And that commitment. Love the commitment. Corey Brown being substituted off here, the former Brisbane Royal Melbourne Victory player. Is off for the final stages of the match. Brisbane City going long here. Looking to apply the pressure. 31 shots tonight so far. Just the one goal. I mean, isn't that incredible? It was Blinkers who gave us that update earlier, mentioning how both goalkeepers had been strong tonight, and it's no surprise. 31 shots for Brisbane City and just the one goal. It's quite incredible. G'day, Boston. Good to see you here, mate. Hope you're doing well. So Brisbane City with a free kick opportunity here in a promising position. Out wide on the right. Just one player on the wall for Kingsway. Is this where we finally get the breakthrough? Brisbane City searching for a spot in the quarterfinals. The cross is all right. Headed away, though, by Boland, I think it was. City have to recycle it. Still got numbers forward. Aaron Williams there to deal with it at the back for Kingsway. Brisbane City trying to force their way through here, determined to get the win before the penalty shootout. You almost get the sense that Kingsway are sort of settling for the penalty shootout at this stage. They're just being bombarded with shots. Love it, Boston. Yep. Terrigal's a beautiful area of the coast, that's for sure. Hunter asks here, wondering how many players will leave to the A-League from Heidelberg United after their game tonight. Still a month left, right? Yes, the transfer window closes in mid-September. Yeah, so about a month left. I mean, I tell you what, yeah, after tonight's game, it really puts the spotlight on some of those players there for Heidelberg United. And look, we're commenting about how some of those players are former A-League players, Lesiotis and Benjamin Collins, Yaron Souza, goalkeeper. A few former A-League players there. You've got Sabik Noor, who's on loan from Central Coast Mariners at Heidelberg. So maybe some A-League clubs are looking at those guys who not only were great tonight, but have been good for Heidelberg United over this whole NPL New South Wales season. Even someone like Lesiotis, who was great tonight and had a fantastic goal there at the end of the match as well. That would be a decent midfield option, I think, for a number of A-League teams. Someone like Lesiotis, who maybe didn't get quite given the biggest opportunity at A-League level. Didn't really break into the respective teams there at Victory or City. Final substitution here for Kingsway. Not long to go. Will we get a penalty shootout to end the night? We haven't. I'm trying to remember if we've had many penalty shootouts in this Australia Cup run this year. Have we had any penalty shootouts? I'm going to quickly check. I feel like we might have had one, right? Oh, yes, of course we did. Perth Glory, Wellington Phoenix. We did have a penalty shootout in the Cup. Only one. There you go. Only one. Usually I feel like we have a few, but we've just had one penalty shootout in the Australia Cup this year. Perth Glory, Wellington Phoenix. In the round of 32. Phoenix winning that one. Great to hear that you're loving the coast there, Boston. It's certainly a beautiful place to live. We are coming up to the final minute now of regulation time in extra time. Probably get a few minutes added on. A short injury stoppage a moment ago there. Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1. Brisbane City currently mid-table in NPL Queensland. Olympic Kingsway towards the top of the ladder at the moment, I believe, in NPL WA. So I'm sure everyone inside the stadium will be intrigued to see how much time is added on. Again, Kingsway just seem pretty content to settle for penalties. They are not risking anything. They've been very strong at the back here in extra time. Forward it comes for Kingsway. For City again. Olympic Kingsway. Could they get a chance on the counter attack? Right at the death. I mean, this would be incredible if Kingsway were to win it at the end of extra time. Yes, that's right, Hunter. Sorry, just saw your comment there. Wellington v Perth, where it was raining cats, dogs, and crocs. Yeah, it was some crazy weather for that game in Perth. 2 minutes added on. 2 minutes left. Less than that now as we close in on a possible penalty shootout to decide this round of 16 matchup. Thanks for that, Hunter, who says Olympic Kingsway and Bayswater City are fighting for the premiership in Western Australia. So it'll be interesting to see who goes through there, because of course it's so big when it comes to the premierships and the NPL competitions, because that means you book a spot to the Australian Championship. So right at the end of extra time here, Mitch Oxborough is going to whip in a free kick here for Olympic Kingsway. Delivery's not too bad. Flies up, dude. I mean, that would have been incredible if it got in. What a devastating way that would have been for Brisbane City if they had to lose it, if they'd conceded there. But seconds are ticking by. The whistle has been blown. It is full time at the end of extra time. And we are getting a penalty shootout to finish off tonight. 1-1 after extra time. Brisbane City, Olympic Kingsway. Shown on the broadcast, so many players down on the floor, dude. Exhausted after 2 hours of football. But it's all about one final kick for these players now. But it's a huge, huge penalty shootout coming up to go through to the quarterfinals. And of course, want to reiterate again, this is a huge one. Because this corner of the draw for the Australia Cup, there are no A-League teams on that corner, on that quadrant. The winner of this game will go through to play Avondale, Appia Leichhardt, one of those two teams. Which won't be a tough matchup, that's for sure. It will not be... Sorry, it will be a tough matchup, I mean to say. But if you're avoiding an A-League team, that's positive news. No worries, Boston. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Pens it is indeed. We are going to penalties, folks. So, both these keepers have clearly had good games tonight. Like, we haven't been watching the whole contest, but if you just look at the number of shots these teams have had, especially Brisbane City, the two goalkeepers have, I think, been the stars tonight. Adrian Sinagra for Olympic Kingsway. Looking at FOTMob, I'm looking at the FOTMob app, an 8.0 rating for the Olympic Kingsway goalkeeper. And Joshua Langdon, the goalkeeper for Brisbane City. He's come up with a couple saves, according to the stats as well. Only a few minutes left. That's right, Tim Bob. Appreciate it, Boston. Hopefully Kingsway have enough to get it done, says Tim Bob. I mean, it would be a great story to see them keep going. I mean, already one of the stories of the Cup this year has been Olympic Kingsway and that just incredible match in the round of 32, that 4-3 win over Melbourne Victory. One of the all-time greatest Australia Cup matches. And I said it in the predictions video that I put out last week that, you know, I think that win for Olympic Kingsway would give them a huge boost going on here to potentially have a big run of the Cup. So they are currently flipping the coins, deciding who will kick first in the shootout. Handshakes. Mitch Oxborough there wearing the captain's armband for Olympic Kingsway. Mitch Oxborough, former Perth Glory and Newcastle Jets midfielder. Mitch Oxborough now at Olympic Kingsway, along with a few other former A-League players, Aaron Williams. And of course, Liam Boland's not a former A-League player, but a very famous player when it comes to this competition. Well, I'm sure will be called upon in this penalty shootout. So, we are set for the penalty shootout. And it looks like Brisbane City are going to be the team to go first here. One after extra time. So, we saw a dramatic penalty shootout between Perth Glory and Wellington Phoenix just a few weeks ago in the round of 32. This is our second penalty shootout in the final rounds this year so far. Troy says, well, Brisbane City have to win. Penalty shootouts are nerve-wracking. Played in a few when I was younger. First shot coming in for City. Clean penalty there. That's a really smooth finish. Brisbane City with the advantage. All right, let's see if we can pull this up on short notice. Bear with me as we get our impromptu scoreboard up here for the penalty shootout. Olympic Kingsway, it's Mitch Oxford stepping up for their first penalty. Oh, goalkeeper gets the right way, but it does go in. 1-1 in the shootout. 2 successful penalties to kick it off. Brisbane City. They are the, if I'm not mistaken, they're the only remaining team, right, in the Australia Cup from Queensland. Everyone else has been eliminated. Second penalty for them. That's another good finish. Again to the right. 2-1 to City. Some good penalties so far to start off the shootout. I think all 3 shots so far have gone to the right from the shooter's perspective. Another shot here for Kingsway. That's another converted penalty. Confidently slotted home to the left. 2-2. 100% success rate so far. Troy says so close to this game, even in pens, that's right. You can, dude, how funny is this? You can see the crowd, like, watching it behind the fence there, behind the goal, but they're having to, like, duck under to see it because there's the signage. Oh, that's a save! Huge save! Brisbane City miss. Penalty number 3. They stay at 2. Top save. What a stop. Fantastic save there. And Olympic Kingsway with an opportunity now to take the advantage for the first time in the shootout. Can they capitalise on that miss? Who will win the mind games here? Penalty number 3 for Kingsway. Oh, it's saved! Another fantastic save. 2 misses back to back, and that is a heroic save there. Unbelievable. Oh, look at that. It's Mark Schwarzer-esque, isn't it? The dive down to the left. Absolutely fantastic from Josh Langdon, Brisbane City goalkeeper. Penalty number 4 here for Brisbane City. They missed their last one. And that one is comfortably put away. Scott Halliday scoring there for Melbourne City. Sorry, not Melbourne City, Brisbane City. Same colours, though, to be fair. Same colours. The light blue and white for Brisbane City. Penalty now for Olympic Kingsway to try and stay in this game. And the ball now falls to Liam Boland, the greatest ever goal scorer in the Australia Cup finals rounds. The left boot of Liam Boland. That is a confident penalty from a player who has scored so many times in this competition. 3-3. Oh, boy. Troy says, I missed the penalty that cost us the grand final at Bloom Park. Never let it go. The nerves are real. Sorry to hear that, Troy. Huge moments here. Huge moments. The quarterfinal in the Australia Cup is on the line. It's 3-3 in the shootout. Penalty number 5 for City. Oh, that's a confident penalty. It was a little bit higher. The goalkeeper went the right way, but the power on it was too much in the end. That's 4-3 now in the shootout. Wow, dude. 4-3. Now, if I'm not mistaken here, Kingsway have to score here. Otherwise, they're out, right? Kingsway have to score here. Otherwise, they are out. Oh, and it is saved. That is it. Incredible. Brisbane City have done it. Langdon with the save. And look at the celebrations, Brisbane City. The players piling on each other, the coaching staff. Oh, incredible celebrations. Congratulations, Brisbane City. An absolute marathon of a match. 1-1 after extra time. 4-3 on penalties. An Olympic Kingsway crash outs. Despite that incredible win over Melbourne Victory in the round of 32. Another fabulous save. And Brisbane City win it. Hashtag scenes indeed, blinkers. Oh my goodness. Well, what a way to end tonight's Australia Cup action. An incredible cup set win for Heidelberg United. 3-0 over Western Sydney Wanderers. And Brisbane City winning on penalties over Olympic Kingsway. They will go through to the quarterfinals to play the winner of either Avondale FC or Apia Leichhardt. Guys, thanks so very much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy tomorrow night's Australia Cup action. 3 games on tomorrow night. Another huge match day coming up tomorrow. So enjoy that one. Guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out and stay subscribed so you don't miss our Australia Cup live watch-alongs with me here, Lockie, on the channel. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next one.